Dear nobody, what do you do when the thing you love the most also causes you pain? The truth is, I never felt the same way again when playing the piano after I had my injury. As much as I tried to cover the pain and think that everything is fine, nothing ever hurt, it's just, it's never been the same way anymore. I tried not to think about it. I tried not to let my fear take away my life. I tried not to be all over the place just because of this one injury. I tried. I really tried. I don't want this injury to define my whole life, of course. But also, on the other hand, it's actually quite hard not to think about it, especially when every time you do something, you will always get hurt, no matter what it is. And especially in this case, it's doing something that I have dedicated my whole entire life to. And it's genuinely something that I love to do. But now doing that hurts me. So it's really hard, to be completely honest. My hand has never felt the same way, and it's frustrating. I cannot really do any basic activities like washing the dishes, opening jars, cooking, making matcha, all of those things without getting hurt. Not only I had a lot of identity crisis because of this, life's just not the same anymore. Life is also not the same anymore because I thankfully get out of the zone and break through. Finally. So yeah, it's not the same because I have that pain, but it's not the same because my mindset has shifted to a better zone. So, in one way, you can see it as something very unfortunate, but in the other way, you can always see it in a better light, you know? Okay, let's continue. Last time I met a hand doctor, and he basically said that what I have in previously, it got worse now. And also, most likely, I have a tendonitis too now because the other parts of my hand are compensating the pain that I have on my wrist. You might wonder what injury I have. Well, let me tell you. I have what is called TFCC tear, which is basically there's a tear in my ligament on my pinky side of the wrist. And if you have this injury, it's so hard to do literally anything basic. Like I have said previously, like opening the jar, making matcha, and all that. The doctor said that there's not really a set in stone cure other than going to a physical or occupational therapy, and it will take months to heal, like months to years, because it's such a small part of the wrist that blood doesn't really go there enough to heal quicker. Like if you have ear piercing, sometimes like the helix, because it's so far out there, it's like it's harder for your helix to heal rather than you have an earlobe piercing. So it's somewhat like that. So the only thing that I can do is just rest and not use it at all while it's inflamed, because that can cause even worse, and it will make a whole fuss, spreading more into the arms, elbows, etc. Like all of those things. I also need to keep wearing my brace, like a full hand on brace, to sleep as well as something more comfortable during the day to keep it not like moving so extensively. Currently, here in New York, it's still winter, but thankfully, it's going into spring next week, I believe, because it's getting warmer, which I love. I'm so over this winter season, guys. It's crazy here. The reason why I'm bringing the weather up because I cannot really use my full brace during the day. I am covered with a lot of clothes and they are very, very bulky. So it's quite annoying to do that. I've done that quite sometimes with using my whole arm brace, and I just don't really like it. It's so bulky. I cannot even move a lot. Well, I mean, that's the reason why I use the brace to not move a lot, but it's just, I feel it's very suffocating for my hand, and I don't feel the blood is moving at all. Yeah, so that's the biggest main problem with using braces in the winter times. It's annoying. None of my sweater also fit with that brace. It's a whole lot thing. So usually I would just use the smaller brace just to go outside. Yesterday night before going to bed, I had this whole thing where I was so afraid my left hand would get something like my right hand, because it literally became a substitute for the right hand. Like everything that I do, I have to do it with my left hand. I really tried. I mean, sometimes I obviously muscle memory, sometimes I would do it with my right hand, but if I realized that, oh my god, I'm doing it with my right hand, I would switch it to the left hand. Even making matchas, now I have to practice with my left hand too. So literally, I'm putting every weight that my right hand has, putting it onto the left hand. So I am kind of scared. What if my left hand is injured like my right hand? I'm genuinely scared. I really don't want that to happen. Lately, I feel some discomforts and kind of like soreness on the left hand, and I am scared shitless, guys. I'm not joking. It's like the worst nightmare ever for me. I kept praying and hoping that it wouldn't be the same case, and I really hope it won't. Yesterday I was like, I don't know what was happening, but all those anxiety was coming on to me, and it's too much. I feel like now I need to start using a brace for my left hand too, just to prevent it from any sorts of injury. Because I frankly don't want to lose another good hand. I just don't want that. This episode is mainly like an update on my injury and how it feels to do the thing you absolutely love, but it causes you so much pain, like I am right now. Playing the piano with only just the left hand is something that I have never imagined to do. And it's also something that is actually quite challenging. No one tells you this enough. Sometimes it's like, oh, it's just easy, it's just left hand. I can handle it. But no, I have been practicing only with the left hand. It made a whole lot difference in the way I practice. I didn't really think much about the balance when I was practicing both hands, like balancing your whole body when actually playing the piano. But truly, with only just the left hand on the keyboard, you might think it's easier, but it's way harder than both hands. It's like 3 times harder. Last time I was doing 2 hours of practice, just the left hand. And afterwards, I felt so exhausted. Like I was practicing 6 hours a day with both hands. Well, I mean, if you practice 6 hours or more than that, you will be really exhausted. And with just the left hand, you only need 2 hours and you will be just exhausted. Isn't it crazy? It's like 3 times harder because you're only supporting yourself by one arm, and your whole weight and strength comes from the half of your upper body, which is the half left of your upper body. You cannot really do anything with your right hand. I mean, how can you support yourself when you're actually putting your whole body? And I'm a petite girl. I don't have a lot of energy. And to chop that into only half energy, it's I have lost a lot of energy by chopping the other half that I have. Because usually I would just put my whole body into the piano to get more strength and sound. But this time I only have my left hand. So yeah, you can only imagine if you're not doing it, you cannot really understand what I'm saying. But just imagine it. You only have half of your upper body, just half of it. You don't have your right hand, so you're doing anything like doing push up with only just left hand. Like that will be way harder than doing it both hands, right? So you know how hard it is to support only with just one arm. But no, actually, it's quite different though. It's actually really hard to control the balance, especially when you have a big passage where there's a lot of chords and you need more power. You really need to try and balance your body and be careful not to fall to the side when you're doing it. There's a lot of times when I was in the practice rooms practicing my left hand, and a lot of the times I almost fell to the right side because with left hand pieces, you actually use the whole entire keyboard, no matter if it's like too high or too low on the left or like too high on the right. You use everything. So you will need to move around while doing that to reach some notes comfortably. And obviously, I don't want to injure myself again. So, yeah, you definitely need to move a lot. And that's where the balance is kind of an issue because you move a lot and you don't really have like an anchor that you can hold on to. When it's two hands, you have your whole body like an anchor on the bench. But since you move around with just left hand, you don't really have that one big anchor to hold you down. It's like that. The other challenge with this too is the mental challenge because I injured my right hand due to over practicing, overstretching, and I'm sure there were things that I did wrong while practicing, like forcing my hand into a certain position, like very unnatural position, in order to achieve certain notes or sound. I'm sure that happened a lot, and no one really noticed that I did something hurtful for myself. I mean, because they're not myself. And even to me, I must have cared about the sound more than how my hand was feeling. And that's pretty much why I got severely injured. The mental progress is the hardest one ever. There's this fear that I don't want my left hand to have the same thing. And so every single time I practice, sometimes I still have that sense of fear and just scared to practice hard or big passages. I really need to be extra cautious about it since, well, you know what happened with the right hand. I just don't want to deal with that again. And at this point, I have to realize that this is now my reality. And this is how I break through. As sad as it is, I need to accept the fact that, okay, my right hand is not good. And sometimes I low key see it as a broken goods. But that's quite too harsh for myself. Very toxic words. But sometimes I do feel like that towards it. And obviously, I don't want to even torture myself more than I already am hurting with those toxic words, but I need a solution. I need something to look forward to. And at this point in my life, I've never been this motivated and more spirited and eager to really learn something. Before I re injured myself, I had this one big piece that I love to play. And I really did. Well, that's why I over practiced and I overstretched myself and re injured myself in a way. And yeah, so I have been feeling dismotivated and it's been a while since I felt this way towards the piano. And I don't want to lose the spark. So around 2 or 3 weeks ago, I literally got up from my bed and just say to myself, I cannot do this anymore. I need to find a solution. And this is my life. Like, I realize I have this injury in my right hand, and there's frankly no cure, and I might need years to fully recover this injury. So I stopped feeling bad for myself. I stopped relying on my right hand to get it better. And especially, I have a graduation recital coming up in May, which is literally in 2 months. So I need to really focus on that instead of relying on something that's not reliable, like my right hand right now. So I changed my whole program for my recital that is gonna be in 2 months. I focused all on left hand pieces and I'm currently learning a lot of new pieces just for the left hand. But it's good. I'm feeling good. Really good actually. No matter what happens in the recital, as long as I really try my best, and I am currently doing that, it's fine. I'm feeling very optimistic about it. It is what it is. My life is like this now, and I just need to accept it. I need to become a better problem solver and move on. I am still looking for another occupational therapist to help me recover, but I'm not putting my right hand on the spot, like having to work on something in terms of piano wise. Well, technically, there are some pieces that I will have to play with my right hand. Like, I have these two pieces that I'm still going to play for my recital. Also, there's this one piece for my harpsichord recital too, along with some chamber stuff that frankly, I have to do it in order to pass and graduate. So I have to do it. I think it will be fine. Well, no, actually, I lied. I don't think it's gonna be fine. And I'm actually scared to put my right hand in more danger. It is something that I need to do, and I just need to find a way to make it better, I guess. The doctor gave me some prescription for anti-inflammatory. Hopefully that works out. So far my body is adjusting, but it has been kind of like a drowsy journey with this medication. Makes me feel so weak, and my hand is acting out sometimes too. Even my elbow hurts sometimes, weirdly enough. Well, that's the update for now. I will still have my graduation recital going on May 9th at 7 p.m. EST. It's going to be in Greenfield Hall at Manhattan School of Music. So if you're free, come watch me play the most left hand program you'll ever seen and heard in your entire life. Well, I don't know if that's going to be the most, but I think it's one of the most. Hopefully, I will be the first one to open your eyes with this beautiful left hand program. I love you all. Thank you for staying till this point, and you will hear lots of struggles from me, especially with this injury. Let me know if you have any questions. I would love to answer them, whether it's related to music or life or this injury, because I feel this injury is not being talked enough, and not many people have this injury, to be frank. It was quite challenging to retrieve more information on what to do, especially for a musician. But anyway, as always, new episodes on Thursdays, and I will talk to you next week. Stay safe and healthy. Bye.